Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Today is still Sunday, April 6, 2025, back with another episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. More doom and gloom. What did you expect? I told y'all this not long ago. I just glanced over it. I didn't dwell in it much because I know it would go over a lot of people's head and wouldn't pretty much get where I was coming from. But I talked about how they are, I'm going to let y'all figure out who they are, and allegedly how they are trying to kill us, unalive us, or whatever you want to call it, if they allow me to say that word. Allegedly. And I also said one of the ways they're doing it is through the food supply. That our food is allegedly not healthy. Even the healthy food is allegedly poisoned with pesticides and you name it, right? Allegedly. And I also said, I asked the question, when was the last time you saw a honeybee? Some people said, well, I saw one yesterday, but they live somewhere around, I forgot where they said they live, but off in the country somewhere. But the point I was trying to make is that I have noticed a drastic decrease in the amount of honeybees that I see. Actually, I don't see any. Me personally, I don't see none. Now, some people say, well, I saw one yesterday. I saw a couple of them flying around. They're not all extinct yet, but there's a drastic decline in the amount that we would normally see, especially around spring and summer. They used to be everywhere. It's not like that anymore. And I told y'all, and I said, the lack of honeybees, because honeybees are necessary for life to go on, human life. We can't, I know y'all find that some of y'all ain't gonna believe this, but we can't survive without honeybees. Or if we do, it's gonna be hold on.
Tonight, the beekeeping industry is in crisis over the shocking and unexplained deaths of hundreds of millions of bees over the last 8 months. Now, this could impact all of the U.S. as bees, called the backbone of agriculture, are responsible for pollinating, get this, more than a third of the nation's crops. CBS's Janet Shamlian in Savoy, Texas, has the story.
This is what an unfolding disaster looks like in the U.S. beekeeping industry. Each of these hives can hold as many as 80,000 bees, but for reasons no one can pinpoint, the bees in all these hives and tens of thousands more have turned up dead.
Have you ever seen it this bad?
Never, not even close. The data is showing us that this is the worst bee loss in recorded history.
Blake Shook is one of the nation's top beekeepers. He owns Desert Creek Honey and several other beekeeping businesses.
If this is a multi-year thing, it'll change the way we consume food in the United States.
That's a pretty significant statement.
It's huge. It's huge. I mean, if we lose 80% of our bees every year, the industry cannot survive, which means we cannot pollinate at the scale that we need to produce food in the United States.
Bees play a critical role in U.S. food production. In addition to making honey, they pollinate 75% of the fruits, nuts, and vegetables grown in the U.S. That's $15 billion worth of crops. So what's causing the deaths, and why now?
So these are dead bees in there?
and they have always an identifier for a project.
Juliana Rangel studies them at Texas A&M University.
One potential explanation is that over the last few years, we've seen some locations across the U.S. that have had lower forage available for bees. So when they're supposed to be blooming, let's say in April, they're blooming either earlier in the year or later in the year. And so we have these food deserts basically in the summer and fall that the bees sometimes cannot withstand.
Back at Shook's Bee Farm,
Here we go with the hood.
we suited up for a look at his commercial operation.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right, the first thing we do is smoke the entrance, and that calms the bees down.
This is what a healthy hive looks like.
And then in the center here, this is where the baby bees are raised.
These just returned from California, where the bees were used to pollinate almonds. Beekeeping groups say the losses may put as many as 25% of commercial operations out of business by year's end, with wide-reaching impact.
I got a call from a friend who has 20,000 beehives at the start of winter, and he's at less than 1,000. And he said, this is it, I'm done. And I've had far too many of those calls in the past weeks. It's not just a beekeeper issue, this is a national food security issue.
An industry reeling amid a troubling trend. Janet Shamlian, CBS News, Savoy, Texas.
How do you like that for doom and gloom? Do y'all not know how important bees are to the survival of the human race? At the end, the man said one of his competitors, I would say, had 20,000 beehives. He down to 1,000. And I think in like a year. They're just dying off mysteriously. They don't know why. All of these bees are dying. Now, I have some conspiracy theories, allegedly, of what could possibly be happening. It could be an attack from a foreign entity. We could be under attack. We're at war from a foreign government. Because they don't know what's killing the bees. But if you want to destroy your nation that you can't beat with military force, you beat them other ways. You destroy the ability to communicate, right? The phone towers, the grid, the electrical system. You do something to their food supply. If we go on like this, if this happens again, which it is because they can't figure out, they don't know how to stop it when they don't know what's causing it. Is it on the news anywhere? That little station right there that a loyal subscriber / family friend sent me that information to give on to y'all. You think we have a food shortage, or have had one, or you don't know that we have one now. Egg prices, you wonder why the price of food going up. At the end, they said bees pollinate are responsible for 75% fruits, vegetables, and nuts in America. That's pretty much all of it. Without the bees to pollinate, we're not going to have none of that. We are in serious trouble in America. We are under attack in America. Somebody is attacking our food supply. Somebody is attacking our communications. And they're not done with us. Is that enough doom and gloom for you? Or do you want me to stop with the doom and gloom? Do you want me to stop warning you about this? How many of y'all knew this? Do you want Big War to stop with all that negativity, all that doom and gloom? All you talk about is negativity. So you don't think you need to know that? You don't think you need to know that you need to be stocking up food, non-perishable food? Because our government can't be trusted to warn us, to let us know. They don't want to panic. So what will they do? You'll find out at the last minute, when it's too late. I'm here warning you again, sounding the alarm. The redcoats are coming, the redcoats are coming. You can laugh at me, tune me out, don't watch, don't give me no views, don't hit the like button. You ain't got to do none of that. But to those of you who follow me, you know where I'm coming from. We're in trouble. Big trouble. Bigger than the stock market crashing. That's the least of our worries. What we gonna eat? Do y'all know how... I guess I'm not looking sad enough, or worried enough, or scared enough for y'all to really grasp how serious that is. Bees die, we die. No bees, talking about honeybees now, no bees, no us. Cause you know who else? Y'all say, big boy, we can still eat meat. Not so fast, my friend. Because you know that meat you say you're gonna eat, guess what they depend on too? For what they eat, the bees. Is that last diabolical? We have the stupid Americans right where they want us. I see somebody somewhere, I can picture somebody somewhere right now. One of our enemies, or many of our enemies, sitting around a round table. We have the Americans. They won't know what hit them. Pretty soon they won't have any food to eat. We're going to take out all the bees. No bees, no food. See, we ain't the only ones, the human beings. We ain't the only one depending on the bees to pollinate the crops. So are the cows. So are the chickens and everything else we eat. The food cycle, it all depends on those little, furry little winged creatures. The honeybee. When I was a little boy catching them in the little bottle, you know, look at the bees, poke the hole in the top of the bottle, we go catch the bees. Y'all remember that when you were little in the country, in the South, catch the bees in the bottle? A soda bottle, and you put the cap right there by it, and then you put the cap on and you look at them and play with them, and your mouth, let the bees go. We didn't realize at that time how important those bees were and what they were doing when they were flying around on the flowers, when they were flying around, when they got that yellow stuff on their legs. We didn't know what they was doing. They was pollinating the plants. That's what allows them to grow. Without them, there would be no us. It's amazing how God created everything to work in harmony, synchronized together. The circle of life. You move anything out of that circle, the whole chain is messed up. The bees, those little honeybees that we probably take for granted, don't think nothing about, don't pay them no attention. They just flying around. We think we see them flying around, we doing them out like that. Not knowing how important they are to our survival. But guess what? Somebody knows. Somebody knew how important they are to our survival. So somebody, in my opinion, allegedly, is purposely getting rid of the bees. Just that simple. See how they come and attack you in so many different ways. We're being attacked. We're looking for them to come this way with missiles and nukes and tanks. And they're getting rid of the honeybees. Diabolical. Crazy work. Here we are, American. Here I am. I got my, my gear stocked up on my ammo and other things, and a lot of y'all are doing. I suggested y'all do that. You know, when World War III or whatever pop off and we got to defend ourselves. So we're preparing for the tanks. We're preparing for the troops to invade. We're preparing for the missiles. We weren't preparing for them to attack the food source by getting rid of the honeybees. Well, damn. How do you defeat an enemy like that? Here we are, thinking we got everything figured out. I'm out at the pawn shop, at the gun store, buying up this, buying up that, training for this, preparing for this, learning for this, trying to refresh my memory on how to do this, how to read a compass, how to do this. I'm doing all this. I'm serious. I'm doing all this right now. I'm not just making videos running my mouth. I done got back into my boxing so I can get, hand-to-hand combat, getting in my what you call it? Endurance. Just in case, you never know when you run out of booty, you might have to use the hands. I'm getting all that ready, preparing for not if, but when we are attacked. So, me thinking, hey, I'm a genius, I'm smart, I'm thinking of all the ways they can attack us. Didn't think about that. Oh, they gonna still attack us. They coming. But how much easier would it be to beat us if we over here hungry, ain't got no food to eat? If we hungry, we don't have our own food supply because they done poisoned or got rid of, allegedly, all the bees. What the hell are we dealing with here? Do y'all have an answer? What's going on? Where are the people that's supposed to be protecting us from this? See, Trump, that was you voted for. Trump, January 20th, he just got there. This been going on. I told y'all help ain't on the way. We ain't got no help, we on our own. We finna stock up on your food, ladies and gentlemen. Stock up on your food, ladies and gentlemen. While we around here preparing for the invasion, they done invaded us through the back door. We looking this way, they came that way. They getting rid of the bees. Get rid of the bees, get rid of our food supply. That's just my theory. No food supply, who we gonna beat? Who we gonna fight? We over here famished. Cause we don't have any food. I'm done. Get it, got it good. Bye.